Let me just now start actually the forum, and I will kindly ask John Elkann, who is the chairman of the Agnelli Foundation, to take the floor.
Thank you, Andrea. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to Torino. Welcome to the SEI Forum. We are in a place which is very close to my heart. This is the house of the founder of Fiat, Giovanni Agnelli, my great-great-grandfather, who back in the end of the 18th century founded Fiat, who then became one of the leading tech companies of that era. And his inspiration serves us in our business life and also in our philanthropic activity. The Agnelli Foundation, which is based here, is a leading foundation in Italy and in Europe on educational subjects. It thinks about education, studies it, and acts. So, for example, we did a lot of research on how schools should be, and we're now working in building a school here in Torino. As it turned 50 years old in 2016, and inspired by the founder of Fiat, we thought it was important to try and think how we could help to create more entrepreneurialism, more willingness to innovate in Europe. And thanks to a lot of friends and who are here today and have helped shape that debate, SEI came to life. And I'm very happy that SEI came to life, and wanted to thank Andrea, Griva, Raghu, Diala, and everyone who helped it come to life and organize the SEI Forum. SEI, the School of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, really wants to give tools to students here on how they can understand more the subject matter. And we believe it's important to create awareness and to give tools and to enable confidence in wanting to start companies. And this is something that I know all of you care deeply, and it's a very important subject, because we need within Europe, and as Raghu said, Europe is the Champions League Europe, so it includes Russia, it includes Turkey, it includes Israel, or the Eurovision Europe, for who likes music. The importance of creating companies, creating tech companies, innovating, is because it's linked to our future. And we are lagging China, we are lagging the US. There are reasons for it. One is, and we've discussed this last night, the propensity to risk. And we seem in Europe not to be willing to take more risk. It can be explained by stigma of failure. It can be explained by being less willing to come back, to bounce back, or unwillingness to win. I think initiatives like this ones, and all of you are a tribute to this, help create the right awareness and especially the right ambition. So I think this is absolutely something that we can overcome. Capital is important, and Europe had $30 billion invested in 2017 in startups, China 60, the US 70. I think that's a function of opportunity set. So more companies will be created in Europe, which is absolutely possible. More capital will come, because ultimately capital wants returns, and if there are good opportunities, capital will be here. But I think the point which is important is that 30 billion, half of it came from outside of Europe. So I think the big challenge is how do we make sure that there is more, because capital exists in Europe, how do we make sure that we have more European capital that invests in startups? Thirdly, if you look at the US, 1 out of 2 founders was not born in the US. And if you look at the S&P 500 companies, they were founded, half of them were founded by first-generation or second-generation immigrants. And I think that's something where we as a continent, we as countries need to do a much better job at. And I have a lot of, looking at you, seeing where you all come from, gives me a lot of comfort that it's absolutely doable. But I believe that we need to be much more open. I think this is an incredible opportunity that we have to be able to attract people that can come here and build great companies. As we said before, there was a very deliberate choices around the panels to have someone from Europe who made it in Europe, someone from Europe who made it in America, and someone in America who made it in America. I really hope that as we continue, we'll also have someone from America who made it in Europe and someone from China who made it in Europe. And I think this is a very legitimate aspiration. I think that the dialogue today, and I hope the dialogue of today, which is on a subject we all care about, is going to be able to touch hard questions and really try and drive collectively to really bring more confidence and more awareness to all of you and who is listening also and is not physically here but virtually here. And we really want to continue this forum, the SEI Forum. Noam Ohana, who is here and who's running the early stage investments that we do at Exor Seeds, is going to contribute also on an ongoing basis to make sure that as this is a philanthropic initiative, it also is able to attract the commercial side, which ultimately is needed for all of you to be successful. I think that one last point, which is very important, is that we don't only want to have founders. We also want to be able to have people who help founders. And I think one of the difficulty in Europe, and Europe has a huge advantage over the 20 top universities in the world in sciences and technology, 8 are in Europe. So very qualified people are here in Europe, come to Europe to be trained. And they can help founders, they can help companies. So we also need to be cognizant that it's not only about creating the ambition of founders to create companies, it's also helping founders attract talented people, helping them build great companies. And on that note, I really would like to introduce you Diego Piacentini, who has done that. Diego was born in Italy, educated in Italy, started working in Italy, and then went to work for Steve Jobs at Apple, and then for Jeff Bezos at Amazon, helped them build great companies. And my dream would be that within a decade, someone like Diego, who's starting his career, could be able to go and join one of those companies, which will be based here in Europe, and maybe one of yours. Thank you for today.